Have you just got a job rejection? Have you stopped applying to jobs because you're not sure how to move forward? Or maybe you have given up on the job hunt because it's simply too stressful and disappointing to get rejected? Well, in the next 10 minutes, I hope to give you 5 actionable tips to help you get to your next job offer. I've been a recruiter since 2003. Yeah, that's a long time. And I've made over 1,000 job offers. I've also had to reject hundreds of thousands of people. I want to help you turn things around and succeed. Also later in this video, I will be sharing a downloadable document to help you. So here are 5 steps to help you go from rejection to potential job offer. Stay calm. The first thing we feel when we get a rejection is a feeling of disappointment and negativity. We can feel there is something wrong with us or a feeling of not being good enough. These are completely natural human reactions. We want to be liked and felt needed. You probably also really wanted that job and invested a lot in terms of both time and mental energy. Maybe you also really needed the job to be able to survive financially. Getting a job rejection can really hurt. While this can be easier said than done, my advice upon receiving the news is to do 3 things. Try not to take it personally. Try not to react impulsively, and give yourself time to process the news. Maybe go for a walk, talk about it with your partner, friends or family, process it all. You're then ready to move forward with the next of my 5 steps. Ask for feedback. In some situations, you might have been lucky to get your job rejection on the phone. There are some really great companies, hiring managers and recruiters that will take the time to call you and tell you this news directly. So when this happens, be sure to ask for more details on why you did not get the job, so you can take the feedback and improve on it for next time. While the news can be hard to swallow, when being rejected on a call, try your best to keep composed and talk about the feedback. In most circumstances, you probably received your job rejection by email. In some cases, they share the reasons for rejection in the mail. If this is detailed enough for you, great. Then you have the information to work with and improve upon. However, if you don't have much information, or you got the standard thanks, but no thanks, then I encourage you to always reach out to the interviewer for constructive feedback in areas that you can improve. When replying, remember to reply positively. Think of the long term. Your paths may cross again. Send a thank you email to the interviewer for their time and the opportunity. Give praise on your experience, if it was positive, of course. Create an interview feedback document. So now you hopefully have your feedback. Set specific goals for your next steps. Accumulate the feedback. Make notes of what you liked, didn't like about the company. Recall the questions you asked. Recall the answers you also provided, and assess. Reevaluate the job fit, the company fit, and reflect on these. Often after interviews is when you then realize, that job or company would not be a right fit for me. This is exactly why you should interview at a lot of places to identify the right role for you. You can then refine your interview skills from the feedback. Plan and rehearse how you're going to answer questions differently. Learn from the experience and identify your self-improvement areas. To make your life easier, I have created this feedback document for you. You can simply download this from the link I provide in the description and the comments below. I hope this helps you. Now let me give you one example of how I became a recruiter using feedback. Way back in 2003, I applied for my first job as a recruiter. I got rejected, so I asked that company to explain the reasons why I was rejected. It turned out this list was actually quite long. Now I could have thought, I'm not cut out for this. Instead, I was going to work on each of those rejection reasons. I then interviewed with a 2nd, 3rd, 4th company. I was still getting rejected, but the reasons for rejection were becoming far less. I had learned from previous mistakes. I think it was by my 6th company interview that I finally managed to get that job offer. And I credit Spinks in Mayfair, London for giving me my opportunity. So, Spinks, if you're watching, thank you for believing me as a recruiter. I'm still doing it 20 years later. So the fundamentals of asking for feedback and using it for learning has served me all of my career, and I encourage you to do the same. Let me give you another example of feedback. In a few rare cases, you can turn it around. In 2016, I wanted to hire a recruiter at my own company. I actually had 2 candidates that I both really liked. I offered one the job and reluctantly rejected the other, with detailed feedback of course. Now this candidate replied to me to say how much she really wanted the job, and she said she's willing to work for free just to prove herself. I really loved this clear demonstration of passion and commitment, so I decided to hire her as well. I also offered her the full salary despite her generous offer to work for free. Now, in most cases, a company has just one open position due to workload or budget. But you never know, and if there's a small chance the company can hire another, well then put yourself in that position, be seen, be considered. Keep the self-belief. Don't let rejection reduce your self-confidence. Remember, it's not always because you are not a fit. There can be so many other reasons, such as someone else being just a bit better fit, or someone internal getting the job is very common, as this person is known, risk is perceived lower, and a lot of companies try to promote within as priority. So maybe you just missed out on the job due to someone internally being a few steps ahead of you. Quite often, without realizing it, we are being rejected when in fact we were so close to being hired. Remember when you show up to your next interview that confidence and self-belief needs to be there. Otherwise, it will count against you. Remember, rejection is very common. Think of the odds. Let's say a role gets 50 applicants, so it's a 50-to-1 chance. 49 will be rejected, whether at application stage or interview stages. Most people don't realise these odds, and they feel personally defeated after their rejection. It really does become a numbers game, and you need to interview at many places to both find the company and the role for you, and also for the company to want to hire you. The more you interview, the more the odds you have to land your job. Keep the momentum. Don't stop now. Continue applying for other opportunities. Remember, while you're in interview mode, you have done several interviews and you are now warmed up. You are improving your interview skills each time. Maintain a routine. Stay focused during your job search. Keep the weekly cadence and follow up. Consider other roles. So when do you change course? Ideally, we want to land our perfect role. For example, you're a Scrum Master. You're looking to land a Scrum Master role. However, maybe you've applied to all of the Scrum Master positions posted. You may then need to consider other options, and notably, review the cash flow window that you have. You need to ask yourself, how much do you have in savings to keep paying your accommodation and expenses? Now it could be 3 months, 6 months, maybe more. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, we have little or no money left and need a job urgently. In this case, you're going to need to look further afield. I would describe this in 3 layers. 1, absolute ideal fit, the job matches very closely. 2, similar fit, maybe 50%, e.g. a business analyst rather than a Scrum Master. 3, little or no fit, restaurant waiter, delivery driver, etc. As our personal situation changes due to desire to get back on the job market, or the cash flow maybe is running out, we may need to go down through the layers to get ourselves back on feet. At the end of the day, we need money to function in life. If you need to take a role that is far from your ideal choice or expertise, then you just need to accept the circumstances short term. But keep positive, strive to land that role in the future when the timing is better. Don't give up on it. So those are 5 steps you can take following a job rejection. Stay calm, ask for feedback, create a plan, take action. Keep the self-belief, then consider other roles. Remember, a rejection does not define your worth or potential. Embracing a positive and proactive attitude after rejection leads to new opportunities and your personal growth. You are turning setbacks into stepping stones. Rejection is redirection. Let's also not hang on the word rejection. Let's call it feedback. We use feedback to learn and move forward. Remember, interviewing can also be a numbers game. Put the odds in your favour. Those that succeed apply to a lot of these steps. You don't give up. You learn, you keep growing, and eventually you will land that job. I hope these 5 steps have provided some value to you and that you get value from using that downloadable feedback sheet I've created for you. Good luck with your interviews. I am cheering for you. Please do come back to comment when you land that job. We can then celebrate in the comment section together. See you soon.